Wow, that's a great story, Jim. It shows the importance of showing up, making the call, going to the meeting. That is so true. Jim, you've been a keynote speaker worldwide and coached literally thousands of business leaders in your career. What are some of the common denominators among the successful ones?
I've seen, when you think about common denominators, there are positive common denominators, and then there are not weaknesses, but vulnerabilities as well that are common denominators. No matter how big the success, no matter how substantial the person, no matter how much education they've had or how much career success they have on their chart of accomplishments, they still have the need to be reassured. They still have the need for somebody to admire what they did, whether it's quietly or loudly. They still have the need for that. They need support. They need someone to look at them and give them a kind of a wink and say, "Good job. That's impressive. I saw what you were doing there, and I admire you for doing it." Or saying, "I know that was tough, and I'm glad you stepped up and did it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being the kind of person that would do that." So all people need that encouragement. And notice when I say the word, I don't say reassurance. I don't say cheerleading and leave it at that. I say encouragement. Encourage, if you think about the word, means to instill courage. So if what you didn't cause the person to be more confident, more courageous, you didn't encourage them. You could say, "Oh no, it'll be okay. It's going to be fine." That's not encouragement. That's just like spreading sugar on top of a cake. It's just going to make it look differently. It's not going to increase the nutritional value at all. So encouragement is when you acknowledge something that matters and then connect it to the person in a way that they can take it personally. They can take it as either accomplishment or a compliment, or as some kind of a reflection on themselves that they can feel good about.
I've heard you mentioned in a prior training course the term relationship selling. Could you help our viewers get more acquainted with the term relationship selling?
Why connect the word relationship with the word sales? Sales is about transactions. Relationships are about exchanging value. The purpose of business is not to generate profit. That's a function of business. You could say, "Well, no, that's the purpose of business." Well, if a business has to have employees in order to produce a profit, is retaining employees the purpose of the business? No, it's a function of the business. Okay? So the purpose of the business is to make people's lives better profitably. The reason I say profitably is if you don't do it profitably, you can't continue to do it. You have to stop. You'll run out of money or resources. So to make people's lives better profitably is the reason the business exists. Whether it's a nonprofit organization or a for-profit, it exists for providing value to people in a way that is financially sustainable. In a nonprofit, that means a different type of cash flow and support than it does in a for-profit business, but still there's got to be a profit of some sort generated. Now then, what's the purpose of selling? The purpose of selling, people say to me, "Well, it's to make a sale." No, it's not. "Well, it's to make a customer." No, it's not. It's to build profitable business friendships, not social friendships. Social friendships have different rules. To build profitable business friendships. Now, what's a friendship? Well, a friendship's a connection between people in which they actually care about each other. Profitable friendship? Yeah. One in which value is exchanged at a reasonable level so that it can be sustained over time. And that changes the role of a salesperson. So a salesperson now, all of a sudden, instead of being in charge of making sales or generating sales, is in charge of building profitable business friendships. That means they need to be more careful about who they select to whom they'll be selling, and about how they cultivate each of those transactions so the person doesn't feel exploited when they buy. They feel helped and served, and they want to continue that connection. because I don't want it, Wallace, if you buy one thing from me, I don't want just that one sale. If you're capable of continuing to buy that from me, I want all your future sales. Like if I sell you milk, I don't want to just sell today's milk. I want you to consider me your milk supplier. If you bought a car from me, I want you to consider me your in-house car expert, your go-to guy for cars, even if you're going to buy a different brand. So I want to cultivate a relationship that makes me part of your trusted advisory team and keeps me on the inner circle with you, so it's easy to connect with you and I get automatic referrals without even asking for them sometimes. And I'll do the same for you because I consider you to be a business friend, not just a source of revenue. And you can clearly tell the difference between the sales teams that consider people to be money carriers and the people the sales teams who consider their clients to be friends that they are helping and connecting with on an ongoing basis.
Those are gems. I appreciate that. You know, one of the things I hear that gets said a lot is that, you know, it's who you know in business. So I've heard you say something on that subject. I want you to touch on it if you don't mind.
Sure. I do this a lot of times with an audience. I'll be standing in front of a big seminar audience and I'll say, finish the following statement for me. It's not what you know, it's, and they all yell out, who you know. And I say, okay, finish this statement for me. It's not who you know that counts, it's, and they say, who they know, they're guessing. What they know, you know, and they kind of, you know, come up with creative little twists on it. And I said, let me offer a better suggestion. It's not what you know that counts. It's not who you know that counts. What really counts is who is glad that they know you. You see, until you make them glad that they know you, you haven't really cultivated a strong relationship yet. But once people say, man, am I glad I know Rollis. Boy, if I didn't know Rollis, I would have missed out on so many opportunities. It would have been so much harder to get the job done. This would have happened, that would have happened, this wouldn't have happened, that wouldn't have happened. I'm glad I know Rollis. Man, when you are at that level with people, then those people consider you to be an asset. And people protect assets. See, that's the way we ought to be thinking about our own clients, our prospects, our suppliers, our co-workers and employees, even our neighbors and the people in our community and our industry. We need to see our relationships as assets and treat them accordingly. I call that relationship intelligence. That's one of my company trademarks. And it's just simply being more intelligent about relationships. So it's not people smarts, which is a different, you know, it's a skill-based thing. It's not reading people. It's not relating to behavioral styles. Those are skills. This is about being more intelligent about the relationships in your life and looking at all of them as potential assets, and then taking each relationship from the beginning point all the way to eternity by constantly looking for more ways to give value to them so that they value you, so that you and they can consider each other assets ongoing.
As an attendee at one of your events, I can say from personal experience that you live what you say. You didn't know me from Adam, but you took the time to show personal interest in me and treat me kindly.
Thank you very much, very much. I do remember that. I remember the meeting, I remember the meeting room, I remember the breakfast meeting that was separate from the main event. Remember the time interacting with the audience. I remember I played a borrowed guitar at the beginning of my presentation that day. That was a lot of fun. That was a very good experience for me, and thank you for remembering.
You know, one thing I wanted to do too before we finish up is, can you give our audience a way to learn more about this relationship intelligence? Because I think there's a lot more that we've only been able to scratch the surface. Where would you direct them?
Just the simplest thing in the world is just go to my website, Cathcart, CATHCART.com, and explore. There are over 300 pages of resources in there. There are videos that they can watch for free. There are articles they can read, hundreds of articles as blog posts. There are all kinds of special links. There's one part in there that has 20 or 30 quotes that they can pull out and use in their own publications or own email messages or whatever, if they're looking for something that's sort of a little pithy or inspiring kind of a quote that they want to use on sales or management or leadership or self-development or relationships. But going to Cathcart.com and spending some time exploring it, using all the tabs and all the little special buttons on the site will really lead you to a lot of resources. And I'm on a online TV network called DailySuccessStream.com. One continuous word, DailySuccessStream.com. And people can subscribe there and get up to 1,000 different presentations that are about 6 to 8 minutes long from me, from Brian Tracy, Tony Alessandra, Mark Sanborn, Patricia Fripp, Scott McCain, Don Hudson, Tommy Hopkins, all kinds of people, for like $39 a month. I mean, it's like the bargain of the century. You get thousands of dollars worth of training on an ongoing basis, as often as you like, 24/7 in high definition for virtually nothing.
Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate having you on the show.